And yeah, so this is the what's new, which has everything in it of the new features, which I'll be working through today, essentially. So at the moment, if you're using a version 3.2, your program will download the update in the background and offer you the chance to install it. Oops. Um, Offer you the chance to install it after you quit the program, and it will make a backup for you. And when it does that, you should always choose your own folder, preferably one that's a USB drive or cloud storage, so it's not on your computer as well. So it'll make a backup and then install the live update. And because it's a live update, it won't take very long, and that will give you the new features. And basically, the release is split into two parts. You get three new features, improvements, and fixes. Plus, there's a new bundle, which you get a 30-day trial of by default. And then if you decide you like it, you can buy that as a bundle. And then there are two other modules. The first is Farouk Master's analysis tool, which we'll look at today. The other is Lexicon, which allows you to edit the dictionary, which is also very cool. So yeah, the first thing is you can, and just to say, we will release a full installer. We're working on it now. That will include new synthesis translations that are being finished, and also two new views, one by our long-term collaborator, Eric van Wunsel, and the other by Beneath Siddhartha, which are both going to be interesting ways to filter synthesis to more classical sources, because it's a reality now that there's a lot more information in the repertories, and we need to be able to nuance how we're seeing that information when it comes to the stage of analysis. And as a software provider, it's our role to give you everything that's on the table, and then you can choose what suits you, or what ideally what suits the case that you have there. So yeah, I think we might be nearly full, huh? 89 now. So it's limited to 100 people, so if you just miss out, then you can watch the recording. All right, so the first thing is that when you open the program, you will be able to change your the skin of the program and your chosen font. So on a Mac, you go to the preferences by clicking on RadarOpus, or do the key command, which is Command comma. On Windows, you go to Tools and then select Options from the menu there. And that will give you, yeah, that will open this window. And here you can choose between, so I've gone retro today. You can have the classic, default, forest, or mountain skins. So it's just, it's nice to have a refresher. The font size now works across everything. So you'll see the tabs have like a bigger font size than they used to, and the search engine and everything. So it's all more readable. And then you've got, so the kind of options page has changed slightly, so that you've got, normally in the old versions, it would load straight to this part of the options page. And this is still there. You can now change the size of the search field in the top icon bar. So I like it nice and big. And you can have the texts underneath the icons removed as well. Because, by the time you're a RadarOpus master, you don't necessarily need to see that text anymore. Okay. And the rest of it is the same, I think. Okay, so I'll go ahead and close that. So some of the things, happen in real time now, like a font change happens in real time. And I think these titles should appear as well. There we go. In real time too. But then things like changing the skin does require the restart. Okay, so to look at the three new functions we've got, you can now create your own favorites as part of the 3.3. So all you have to do is open repertories or references. You can make favorites in both. And let's say I want to do the lax repertory. I right click on it. And then from the menu, I add to my favorites. And then it jumps up to the top. Now you'll see that my layout is a bit different because I've done a few things. So in general, I always say this every time I do a lesson, wherever you are in the program, you've got this little configuration icon, like a cogwheel. It's more clear in the newer skins than on this one. But yeah, there I can open it. In the search engine, I can open it. And it gives you the options for that like specific part of the program. So here, like normally you'd see, all of this stuff. Yeah, like that. And you can ask it to just display your favorites too, and you'd see the boxes. Now, I personally find I don't need all of those icons. I don't need to see the boxes. I don't need them to be grouped by type either. But grouping by type means that you have your main symptom-based repertories at the top, then your concepts, which give you links into the main repertories, and then your families. But so I do not do that. I don't need to see lots of Union Jacks. I don't need to see the abbreviation. In a way, I don't need to see the icon either. But I do want the favorites at the top of the list. Yeah. Otherwise, they stay in their order. But to me, it makes sense to have them at the top. And also, if you're using the demo and you only speak English, you can deselect all the different languages like that and then click on English only. And then, of course, you do not need to see the flags. Okay, and the sorting you can change as well. So I have it from Z to A because it puts synthesis Adonis closer to the top, and my repertory too. So yeah, you can do that very same thing within the references as well. So that's creating your favorite repertories. References, you can scroll down and right click on one and add it to your favorites. Okay. So again, I've changed it here so I don't have them grouped by type. They're grouped by type, they look like that. And the favorites that you've created that are not a Materia Medica, but a different type, like a keynote, would be further down in the keynote section, you see? There they are. So that's one reason why I deselect that option to group by type and have my favorites at the top, then they're all there. Okay, so you can choose any book, just right click on it, make it a favorite, and it gets the little star there. This quick reference tab is what we called favorite keynotes before. We sort of changed that name. And basically, one of the nice things about creating your favorites is it gives you a pretty easy route to choosing your quick references as well. Now, the quick reference is basically like say you've opened a remedy like arsenicum iodatum. In here, you get your list of quick references and you can quickly move between them. So a lot of these might not have Materia Medica because it's a small remedy. But for any that do, if you click on it, you've got very quick way of reading different Materia Medica there. So over here is how you create that. And basically, you read what it says here. There's also a video by Renee. And, with these checkboxes, you just tick the ones you want to be added. Like, let's say I'll do something here. Let's do that one. Use selected documents. And then you can rearrange them by dragging upwards. Okay, so if you wanted that one to be at the top, you could drag that upwards. Okay, so now if I open a remedy like carcinosin, it starts with Grand George and then moves through the different options like this. Okay, so that is the quick reference. That's not something new, but often people ask in the Facebook group, oh, why have I only got 2 documents and why doesn't the default one open and Alan opens first? And it's because we changed the functionality to give you more options for your favorite keynotes or quick references. Okay, so one of the things you can do now is create your own Materia Medica as well. I've got here one that I'm working on. There's a few actually. This is one I started today. So I opened Arsenicum iodatum keynote and I went onto Google, and as I often do, just put in into homeopathy because there's often cases there. And I found that case here and I did a simple copy paste. So right click to copy rather than using a key command. The key command doesn't work here. And then you can, add a remedy and paste that information into RadarOpus, and then it will become available as a, in the search straight away. So let's show you. So let's do carcinosin. Open Google. Open into homeopathy. Okay, there's an article here. There's also one from Cure, which is another good resource from Jan Scholten. Okay, this is by Declan Hammond, who is a great homeopath. So I'll select all of that, right click and copy. And then, so basically, if you want to create a new Materia Medica, you go to File and then create a new reference. You give it a name and you say add to favorites, yes, and then you click save. So that's what I did here. And basically, you go to this bit here, switch to edit. And then what I'm going to do is add, now let's see, what's this? Let's give that a minute. Switch to edit. Oh, okay. Let's add a remedy then. Let's add carcinosin. Okay. And then delete that. And you can put in a new chapter to start with. And basically, I will copy paste the text here. Then I will take this and I'll do Command X, Command V to add the title. And you could include the link from the web page as well, potentially. And then you just click on save. Now, there are things you can do like, embolden or, underline. So you can do what you like with the text as well to sort of draw out what you feel is important. You can use the key commands for, the standard formatting changes. You can also add in an image. So if we go back to here, our keynote page, and look at Google Images here. In this case, there's nothing like that interesting, but you can easily take a quick screenshot of something and add it. So if I go to my Materia Medica now here, I can easily add that as an image here. So click on the image icon and then I will get my screenshots. Just pull a screenshot onto there and then open. There we go. So I've got my image and some text, and then I click save. And you see down the bottom there, there's a little scroll bar showing the saving. It takes a little while, but it's got to write everything to the database, and it is searchable instantly. And you can actually still move around the program while it's saving, albeit at a slower kind of pace. But with most homeopathy softwares where you can create your own Materia Medica, normally it doesn't re-index until you've switched off the program and restarted it, and then it will ask you, do you want to re-index at that point when you're waiting for it to open, which is probably, in a way, you're likely to say no because you want to actually start working on cases and seeing patients and whatnot. So it's nice that it does it instantly. Okay, so while we wait for that, yeah, so Daniel, the it is a paid option. and you can, basically if you, not that one. If you open the shop now, you should see, okay, create and analyze bundle. There's the price if you're in Europe, okay? So you can add all the features I'm going to show you from there, okay? Just click on the shop and pay with your card. And yep. So it's in the create and analyze bundle, this feature. And you'll see the standard like navigation tool works. So these are the remedies I've added so far in here. And there's my Materia Medica. Done. A nice case from homeopathy added straight into your RadarOpus. Available. All these words are available via the search engine now. So if we put in, if we just searched for the remedy.
Luke, would I be able to stop you a couple of seconds because there's a few questions?
Yeah,
and
of course.
as they are related to what you're doing. So I'm going to go from bottom to top. So
Yep.
it's easy. So Lisa was asking, so the remedies you're adding are in your personal Materia Medica?
Yep.
Okay. Then, Daniel was asking if, the creating your Materia Medica was part of a payable bundle, and I replied, so yes, Daniel, and it includes indeed the create and analyze stuff. There's lots of stuff. I'll put the link in there. Then Laurie asks a question regarding the problem with the synthesis app, I think. Yeah. So Laurie, yeah, basically if you were accessing the Materia Medica and the extra search features on the synthesis app, you were probably trying the premium features. If you go back in the app, click on the like personal information icon, you can buy the premiums directly in there. If you're struggling, you can just write to Tim, who's the US dealer, and he can help, or just write me a private message and I'll try to help you as we go along. Let me see if there's anything else. A few questions. Oh yeah, Rachel was asking. I didn't reply to her, but I'm going to double check with you. Will changing the skin change the color of the yes button and the stuff that appears on pop-ups? I don't think so. Right?
I think the what appears on pop-ups is related to your Mac. So you see here, I've chosen like purple as a highlight.
Okay.
She might mean that. I think it's different, but whether you're using Mac or Windows with that.
Okay.
If that's what you mean, I'm not sure.
I think so. If not, write me a message and we'll ask again. Then, can you filter repertory results within a miasm?
Yeah, of course. So basically, here's a repertorization. A miasm is a family because it's a group of remedies. So let's say I want to get cancer. You've got these different options. And basically you would right click on one of them, and then from the window here, you choose limit the analysis. And then it limits to the cancer miasm like that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Luke. And then, I got a few for you, mate.
Yeah.
So, how can I do an extraction of symptoms for a remedy using keywords? That's a good one.
Okay, let's look at ferrum. So I'll right click on it and search in all repertories. Okay, and I want to search for blood. So I just type the word blood, and then it will search for ferrum and the word blood, and that's it.
Nice. Lovely. Thank you. Then we got a tech question from Maggie. She's saying, I have a RadarOpus 2.1 on a Mac 10.10.5. Can I upgrade to the latest RadarOpus or this Mac?
10.5. If Robbie's there, he'll know. I know that Mo Harvey is the kind of earlier, what's the oldest one you can use with the newest.
I think so. So Maggie,
10.3 14, so I don't think you can. No.
Yeah, probably too old. Yeah. So yeah, Maggie, you will probably have to update your Mac first, and then update RadarOpus. And by the way,
what about using a Windows? If I decide to get a Windows laptop
Windows
instead,
should be fine as long as it's
Windows
the latest
10,
operating window.
10 and 11.
sorry,
Yeah.
Yeah. So Maggie,
10 and
Windows
11,
10
okay.
is fine. Windows 11 is fine. Just do a backup, and then you just install a RadarOpus on your new PC. And if you have any issues or you want us to do it, we'll do that free of charge for you. Just put on a ticket with support. You figure out the day you want to do it, and they'll help you.
Okay, so will you be putting that information on here somewhere where to contact?
If you want to contact support, I'll just put the link in the chat now.
There you go. Sarah's done the the operating systems you need, the technical
That's lovely.
specifications.
That's lovely. Thank you very much. Thanks.
No problem. And anyway, if anyone is ever in doubt, on our website, on the history, in the what's new, we always write which operating systems are compatible. So you can just go and check. But otherwise, yeah, if you either a ticket or also in the Facebook group, the private one, the RadarOpus community, normally there's always me, Luke, and a few more dealers. So if you ask the question there, normally we check it almost daily and we try and answer.
Otherwise, the RadarOpus website, is it?
Yeah, normally the RadarOpus website. Sarah, can you do me a favor while we continue and just send them the link to the history page so they know where to go to have a look at what's new. Thank you.
Okay, I saw a question about a key command for what was it? Putting rubrics into different clipboards. So yes, there are key commands for taking rubrics. The first one you need to know is if you hold down Alt and click on a clipboard, you can change the active clipboard, which you can see with the little tick mark that's there. Okay, so if I now just press the equals key, it will take the symptom naive into that clipboard. Then if I wanted to work on clipboard 3, I could do Alt click, and then you can use the key command equals to do to just put it into the default clipboard. The other thing you can do is use the take menu. So you've got a take menu here from the little take to the clipboard icon, or a take menu here from the main menu, or you can learn the key commands, which is F6. Now, your keyboard will automatically be set for the function keys to do things like brightness of your screen and whatnot. You have to research how you can change that on your particular computer. Some of them have like an option where you can toggle the function key. So basically, you know, if it's like that, if you press an F key and F1 and F2 and it changes screen brightness, you have to hold down the key called Fn and then press the F key for it to work in RadarOpus. This is the take window that you can get to with F6. And here you can just say, I want it to go in clipboard 4 actually, or clipboard 3 and 4. And I want the intensity to be 3, and I want it to be an eliminative rubric. And I only want to take grades 2, 3, and 4 of that symptom, or I want to group it, or I want to take its cross references and combine it all. So basically, you know, this is your master window if you want to sculpt your taking of symptoms. And you can even, you know, if you're a total geek, you can learn this little bit of code or bits of code, and then you can do shift equals and you can just type in your code the way what you want to do. So that's for the uber nerds. So if anyone fancies that, let me know. I usually just press F6 and choose what I want to do from here. Okay. All right, so I will show you some more stuff. So that's the create new materia medica function. And
can I stop you a second again?
Yeah.
So someone will, I've had a couple of people asking on the password.
Oh yeah.
Protection. So if you could show them how, but I just want to say something quickly, if I can, Luke. So everyone, we have, as you may be aware, given the possibility in this new version for people to completely delete the password option or to change the password options. So you have total freedom, but we will show you how to do it. I just wanted to remind people, we've tried to be very careful with this because people sometimes forget that taking off the passwords adds a higher risk because you are saving patient data. And on GDPR, patient data has a far higher value and risk than any normal data. So I know it's annoying. If you want to take it off, no problem, but just be aware of the risks involved. So Luke.
Yeah, you just click on tools and then go to user accounts, and then you can disable or the timeout or the renewal, or disable it altogether. And if you choose any of those things, like if I chose that one, it'll open the CRM and it will give you this, will get you have to acknowledge that you basically stating that you lift Usoft from any responsibility if you lose your data and someone, makes an action against you. Okay, so that's how you do it. Tools, user accounts. That's it. Okay, so you'll see that if I search for the remedy carcinosin now and choose all references as my destination, that the new Materia Medica is there. Okay, and if I was to search for any of these words like disfigurement as a keyword, and remember, you don't have to type a full word, you can just put the asterisk at the end. And you'll see here that disfigurement has come up in that new passage from the new Materia Medica I added. So that's a very, very powerful way to add to your program with whatever you deem to be important in terms of remedies and homeopathy. Remember that our remedy catalog has nearly 8,500 remedies in there. And it's not just remedies, it's families as well. So if you wanted to write Materia Medica of a group of remedies, you can do that too. So if I click here back to my Materia Medica, you can see it's got a little asterisk in front of it. Switch to the edit mode, use the plus key to add a remedy. I can do something like mammals. You see here, I can make a Materia Medica about mammals. Okay, and then we've got family information from your own, from your own experience, or for drawing upon the internet, or your notes, etc. And this is how the chapter, the chapters look, and this is how the images look when they're in there. So the other big thing you can do is make your own repertory. This is the one that I've started, where I've kind of got, thought of a few examples. So these are your chapters, and I've done a kind of alphabetical type arrangement here. And I was looking at the word gullible because in synthesis, the word gullible takes you to naive. So I was like, okay, we, could make something searching for the word gullible in the references. So I'll open my search tool, type the word, enter twice. The first time is to confirm that word and the second to search. And if you type a full word rather than using the asterisk, you get access to the dictionary by right-clicking on the word. Now, basically, I can start adding here now. So if I wanted to add a different root, gullibility, for example, I can now do that. And it's added to my dictionary. And I could look up a synonym as well. And it's something that I use ChatGPT for. I could search for, give me the synonyms for gullibility from the era of Roget's thesaurus, which was the thesaurus that Kent would have used. And it will give me suggestions, and I can add them all here to the lexicon too. So my dictionary will gradually get bigger and bigger as I'm working. So I can see that phosphorus is mentioned by Philip Bailey for gullibility. So I'll go back to my repertory. I created the rubric already. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Here's the add remedy window, which is Command F8 or Control F8. It remembers your last entry. So I'll put phosphorus. You can type the abbreviation or the full name, but in general, abbreviation is easier. Click on the remedy, and then I'll search for Bailey, and it's from his book Homeopathic Psychology. Click OK, and there's the remedy with BLP1, which is Bailey's reference code. Then I can go back to the search engine and see what else is there. More on phosphorus. Alumina from Schulten's The Elements. You can see here it gives you the code STJ2. So back to my repertory. Command F8. Type alumina. Click STJ2. Homeopathy in the Elements. Click. Press OK. There you go. You're building your own repertory. It's very fast, and you can do whatever you want in there. There's some other ideas I've got here. So, okay, proving themes where I've gone for just full bits of text from a particular proving that are expressing the themes. So a kind of a cross between a materia medica and a proving and a repertory there. I started putting in some stuff about kingdoms. You can add synonyms. You can add like symptom notes. You can add word files. So this will open my map that I made, hopefully. And you can add websites as well if you want to link websites to there. Ah, there it is. Yeah. So there's my map that I made that it would open. Okay, so let's just see what you're saying. Okay. Go away. Share a patient history completely to other homeopath with RadarOpus. Okay, it's been answered. Okay. So what if you want to fully create your own repertory without remedies linked from other sources in the program? For example, ticks, twitches, and add zinc, cicada, stramonium, and megali. Fully without remedies linked. Oh yeah, so Daniel, basically you can have your own author code. So the first thing to do would be to add your materia medica so that generates a code for you as an author. So you go to File, create a new reference, and you'll see here that it's created an author abbreviation automatically. Once you've done that, you'll be able to use that abbreviation to put all of your additions into your repertory, essentially. And if you want to create a new repertory, you go to File and create a new repertory. And you can create one repertory, but you can create multiple materia medicas. And basically, the way to build the repertory is the same as the editing tools used in synthesis, and you can get to them from the additions menu. That gives you all the options there. It's a little bit too detailed for the scope of today, but essentially if you want to add a new symptom level, you do that, and then you can either add to it as a subrubric of kingdoms like that, or you can put it at the same level, and that would create what is essentially another chapter, something completely different to go after kingdoms in your repertory. Okay, so there are videos already on how to make your own repertory, which are on our Academy section of the website with all the other videos. So Lisa, is there a way to put in your own clinical case examples like NASH to look up in the future. Right. So you want to put in your own cases into Materia Medica? Yes, you could. I think if that's what you mean, you would go into your patient file, copy and paste the text, and add it to a Materia Medica called My Clinical Cases, and then it would become searchable within RadarOpus. So yeah, if you have a patient who does very, very well on a prescription, that would be a really good use of the Materia Medica function. Yes, good idea. Like it. And then, of course, you could make additions to synthesis based on that, potentially. Okay, so those are the two big new features. There's also a great new feature, few features in the patient file, which has had a bit of an overhaul. So here's my patient file. And if I double click the tab, then I can remove the table of contents. That's a useful trick if you don't know that one. And basically, this tiny icon here opens the symptom template, and you've got different options. This is the one that we created already for you in an earlier version. And we're hopefully including this template for you as well, which I made. And whether or not you can use it will depend a bit on what repertories you have. But essentially, this tool allows you to put any rubric from any repertory into these 6 boxes and organize them however you like. So I've got one here, which is where I took everything from the ailments from section, or not everything, some of the bigger ones, bigger rubrics. I put all of the modalities from Heine Fry's pocketbook, so I can do polarity analysis from here. Got all of QRep and all of the thematic rep themes. And then all you have to do is search. So let's say the patient is much better for motion. Use that little search tool there, and here in Heine Fry. So if you hold down Shift and use your scroll wheel, you'll be able to scroll through there, or you hover the mouse and you get the scroll wheel. Okay, so Amel from motion, that's the one. I tick there, choose add to clipboard and import the checked rubric, and you see it goes into the patient file, into the chosen clipboard, and there's an icon to say that it's taken that symptom. And it should, when I open the analysis, it will probably want to move everything to the first clipboard. So yeah, if you start a polarity analysis, if I click here, everything will get moved to one clipboard because that's how the polarity analysis works. But you can do whatever you like with these templates. So I'll show you a couple of ideas that I have had, and then you can hopefully come up with your own good ideas and tell me. So the other way you can access these templates is to click on View, come down here, go to the symptom template, and create a new one or open one that you've done already. So if I open this one, in this first folder, I put in from NERS repertory the different temperaments. Then I started putting in things from the female section of NER. Then I thought I'll add some of the fears from synthesis. Then I thought, it'd be interesting if you could take like one symptom, like destructiveness, and add that rubric from several different repertories so that you can then create a broader rubric. So if I just click on all of these, tick them all. So it's including Murphy, Fatak, Suggester, Haverly's Lack repertory, Adonis, like all of them. Add that to the clipboard and import. Can see them all being added there. If you don't have the repertory open, it comes up with this. Please first open the repertory. So yeah, that's one thing to be aware of. Now, what I would do from here is to combine all of these. So I did Command A to select all, and then just Command clicked this one, which I don't want to be in the group. Then Command Enter, or right click and choose the combine from the menu. Choose combine. And you've got one rubric for destructiveness, which encompasses all of the different repertories. And so you could, in theory, make a bunch of templates that allows you to you could do 6 different symptoms per template of your most used symptoms, whether they're generals or mind or whatever, and combine all of the repertories that you have. And then it's a really quick way to do that and get a very broad rubric. So the way that I would do that, so you could make a flu template, exactly. The other thing you could do is look up all of your cases where you've had flu, and if you've tagged the pathology of the case, you'll be able to search for them if you're using the patient file, and then you could take the symptoms that were used in your cases and add them to your template. Exactly. Or you could, create your own sort of checklists or forms or that sort of thing based on questionnaires. So yeah, absolutely. You could have a flu one, and you could organize it by sensation, modality, concomitant, using the Bonninghausen schema will be another thing you can do. So let's create a new one, show you how it works. So symptom template, create new, give it a title and set a name. So let's say we were looking at anxieties. Then I would open synthesis, open the navigation window, go into mind, go into anxiety, and then I would just choose the sort of larger rubrics, and you basically just pull them in from here. It takes a bit of time, but if you're in a in a meeting or watching telly or doing something where you're basically otherwise idle, you can do this. And to be honest, it's a really good excuse for learning all of the sub rubrics underneath anxiety, isn't it?
May, can I interrupt you for a couple of questions?
Please.
So there was one that Sergey was asking. He said, is it not possible to change from large the select dimension of search field? It requires you to restart the program, but it doesn't remember the choice.
What? So you change it and then it doesn't change? Is that what you mean?
I'm guessing he means that he makes a selection, but then doesn't remember the selection. So Jay, if you've got your microphone, you can try and speak if you like, so we understand better, or just write the message and we'll try and better understand what you meant.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, it's correct. Hi. Yeah, I try to make it smaller. So I go to settings on the Mac computer and I select medium or small, and it says you will see the change after you restart the program. I restart and it's still large, and I cannot change it.
It's a bug.
Try again. It's I've never had that particular problem.
I mean, it could happen, Sergey. That could be like a little bug. If it is, like I wrote in the other chat, if you can let us know with the ticketing system. And so, by the way, also to remind everyone, thank you so much for when you send us feedback, because it's really important for us. The process we normally have is when we receive feedback of a bug or something that doesn't work properly, we try and replicate it. If we can replicate it, we add it in the list of fixes for the next version, basically. Then we have a question from Maggie. I think the latest version doesn't have Vitulka's view. Is there a reason for that? Then Rachel K says, sorry for the basic question. How are you seeing more than one clipboard at a time in the analysis?
Sorry, say it again.
She said, sorry for the basic question. How are you seeing more than one?
No, basic questions are good. Okay, if you're a Mac user, hold the command key. So click on one, hold the command key and click on the next one. If you're a Windows user, hold the control key and do the same thing. And you can add as many or take them away as you like by just holding down that key as you click. And if you press F8, it defaults to open all of them. And it's a toggle. So if you press it again, it will go back to the repertory. And if you press it again, it will open your repertory with all of your clipboards showing. And yeah, I was just going to say, at the moment, it's set to use the master score. You can see here and with the icon there. So when you click the chess piece, you can go back to sum of symptoms sorted degrees, which is the standard, and see your repertorization. But if I put it to the master score, the repertorization will change, and iodum comes before calcarea, probably because it's using prominence as part of its algorithm, and I've set that to be an intensity of 7. So it's saying, hey, iodum is obviously a big remedy for goiter, so consider this. So the way that the master score works is in twofold. One is there's a kind of score given to different authors. So where a remedy is like verified by many authors, it gets a higher rating. And where it's only been added by one person from approving or from a case, it gets a lower rating, essentially. So where things are more verified and they're given a higher score by the master score, and that is combined with the prominence algorithm, which matches your intensity with the grading in the repertory and highlights that in your analysis, and it downplays the idea of totality. So you see iodum clearly does not cover the totality as well as calcarea, but with this algorithm it says that doesn't matter, because we're looking more at the intensity of the symptom and at the author ratings.
Excellent. Grazie, Luke. I don't know if you covered this one already, by Karine. When using this feature, can you still add rubric not in the template checklist?
Yes, of course you can. Yeah. Basically, you can open your symptom template here, choose whichever one you want. You've got to give them meaningful names. And of course, if you edit the template, you can change the name later. So that will be one thing I'm doing later. So you have your template there, but you could, of course, just open the repertory and add any symptom you like from there, or open the search tab and add any symptom from there. Be aware that if you open something that has, the table of contents and the content area, the symptom template will close. And if you haven't saved it, you will lose your work. So that's something for us to work on at the moment. But I think it's to do with the overall structure of the graphic interface. It can't have, those two sidebars on the left and the right. So yeah, be careful if you open the search. It will close your template editor unceremoniously. So the thing to do, yeah, go on.
Oh, go on, you finish.
I was just going to show you, if you wanted to add, the same symptoms from different repertories, you want to have the documents all in one list. And let's say you wanted to search for chaotic in all the repertories. So what you need to do is close the table of contents to be able to open the editor. So double click the search tab, then go up to here and open the editor, and then edit the template, then see what this is. And then you can literally pull things from the search window as well, from any of your chosen repertories. And you see here we've got a new repertory for herbalism, which is very interesting. I've started using it already.
Was it any good?
Yeah, it's very good. It's really good how they've included lots of like notes to explain things that you wouldn't know. So it's really informative within the repertory itself. Let me try and find it for you.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Does it put things in terms of herbs, or is homeopathic aspects
No,
of them?
it's herbalism rather than homeopathy.
Okay,
So
thank you.
yeah, anywhere you see the information flag, you know, it gives you a really like expansive overview here of the different constitutions, and for each one you can read about it as well. And then it's got so those are the constitutions and the 6 tissue states. Each, you know, and they all have these information notes so that, you know, you can inform yourself. And then the chapter on organs is the main one with all the, you know, like we would have in a homeopathic repertory, sort of organized by the different body parts, chronic conditions and acute conditions. And it comes with a materia medica. So if I search for a remedy by right-clicking on it and choose all references, it should now hopefully open in that materia medica too. See here. So this is their materia medica that they've made. And again, this is very informative as well as being a materia medica. You've got full introductions and
yeah, and it's the first of its kind in the world. We're the first people to actually do this. So that's why I'm so, you know, I'm pretty excited about it, but yeah, hugely intrigued as well. Because anybody who does homeopathy but also has interest in herbalism basically has a completely new tool to play with.
yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. Gets the thumbs up from Gabriel. Thanks, Gabby. Annie Botticelli, I finally got rid of standard now since you trying to download till it's free and pay for it.
You're into the questions because there's a few more.
There's a few more, yeah. So Annie, you get everything in the demo, and a lot of it is paid for, basically. To see pricing, you can check with your local dealer, or you can go on our website and, you know, you'll have a login and you can see the like main pricing from Zoosoft. Zoosoft sells itself, and there are resellers that sell as well, and they have, you know, slightly different packages sometimes depending on the market. Okay, let's go back up and check the things we've missed.
Yeah, and while you do that, I'm just going to ask again to everyone, as I did at the beginning, because we've got some more people in. We are recording this session to add on to our website. If anybody is against this or wishes not to do that, just let me know in the chat and we will delete the recording. Otherwise, if I don't get any no's, we will upload for everyone to be able to watch again.
Okay, so Maren was asking how to move one rubric to another clipboard or delete it. So to move it, you click on it, so it's highlighted, then you click, hold and drag to another clipboard. To delete it, you click on it, and if your computer has a delete key, you just press that. If it doesn't, if it's a Mac, you press function backspace, and that is a delete key, or you just right click and choose delete from the menu. So remember, if you don't know how to do what you want to do, just try right clicking on it and see what the menu says. Okay, that's a general rule for RadarOpus to try and remember. Daniel, okay, you could use your personal materia medica to add Vitolks' stuff if you wanted to. Nothing to stop you doing that for your own personal use. How can I know which version of Adonis I'm running? So there is only one version of Adonis. Adonis is the repertory, not the RadarOpus software. So basically you either have it or you don't, and it is in your list of repertories and it's called Synthesis Adonis. So it'll either be there or it won't. Okay. The key command to create a template. There's no key command to create a template, but you go to view and then choose symptom templates from the list. And you can only, if you can create a template without having a patient open, but to use the template and use the symptoms, you have to have a patient open because it's linked with the patient file. Okay. Can you show us how to open a previous patient's repertory with another repertory from another date? I'm a bit confused by that. But here's a patient, a mock patient, and I've got two consultations. This is the one that I'm working on now, and this is the previous one. Okay, so you can see both by clicking like that. If you want to open a previous repertorization, click on the calendar icon here, and then click on the previous repertorization from the other consultation. Yeah. Okay. How can I change my toolbars from Dutch into English and change the width of the toolbar? It's too large now, too wide out of my screen. So if your program is going off your screen, you need to double click the top bit of it, the gray header, and that should resize the program. See, like that? And if I double click again, it will fill the screen properly. Now, especially PCs seem to have like quite widely varying resolutions for the screens, and they can be quite fussy. So essentially, if you want to, I forget what the actual question is. Yeah, so changing the language, you go to the main options. So on Windows, it's Tools Options. On Mac, it's RadarOpus Preferences or Command Comma, and you change the default language here. Okay, and that will change after a restart. And then you can also, if you click on Interface, you can change the dimensions of the search field there, and various other things you can do to change how it displays graphically. You can also try unticking this option, which is the support for high screen resolutions, and that quite often resolves resolution issues. If you still have a problem, like the text is really blurry, you can contact support. But what I found with a Microsoft Surface Pro was that I had to research how to tell Windows how to like basically, I don't know, because the Surface Pro as a tablet, it has like weird resolution, and it did look very strange with RadarOpus. So there is a way to like change in the registry file, and you have to create like a manifest. I don't know. It was very nerdy. I just did whatever was said on this website. And if you go to the Facebook group, there is a topic there where I helped someone else with that problem. So you could do that. You could search for it in the Facebook group if you've got that problem. When you click Command S to save a patient, does the program default to the current open case? So basically, if you are like me and you use the patient file, you create your patient first, then you analyze some symptoms, then you go back to the patient, and then you click this disk icon, and then it saves. And that's the best way to save an analysis to your current patient, according to me. The Command S thing is only useful if you've started analyzing without opening the patient first, or if you're just analyzing for research and you don't want it linked to a patient at all. Files to download, I see. Yeah. The files to download, well, you can see all of the ones that are paid for anyway during the demo. So go for it. And if you want to see pricing as well, you can just open the shop from the toolbar here. Just click shop and you'll be logged in automatically. In general, if you're wanting to buy anything and you don't have a dealer, you just click the shop in RadarOpus and that will be linked to your account, and you can add the create and analyze bundle or anything from here, and you can search. If you scroll down, you can search for anything too. See the prices, see what's on sale, and that will be, you just go through the process, buy it, and then sometimes you would need to use our content updater if it's a very new item, but generally that when we release a new installer, it will all be in the database already. So you would just restart RadarOpus when you receive the email confirmation, and then it will be there. And remember, if it's a repertory, look in repertories. If it's a Materia Medica, look in Materia Medica to see your new book. Okay. Yeah, everything from George Vitolkas is gone in RadarOpus as per his request. If you already owned Vest, then you still have it. And the Vest was very out of date, true. Okay, the plant rep. No, we haven't released it yet, but we will very shortly. Yes, so when you're using the consultation free notes and you change the headings, it does do that for every client from that point onward. Yeah. Yeah, the webinar will go on the channel. Okay. You're welcome, Jennifer. I don't know which tool are you talking about, the symptom template, maybe? Okay, Annie, if you've just picked the free ones, then you're all good. Command delete will delete a rubric on Mac. Yeah, function backspace will do on Mac. The plant rep is a separate purchase. Yeah, it's a repertory and Materia Medica together. And we made this map that will let you open them both at the same time. Oh, not that one. It's right at the end. So if you click here, it opens the repertory and Materia Medica. Okay. Yeah, with the templates, if you've upgraded to 3.3, you need a silver, gold, or diamond engine to access the new bundle features. And if it's there, it will be in view symptom template. Okay, Samar, I start a case repertorization. I try to save under the button analysis, save to a new consultation. Then the program gives it a date label instead. Problem is that I never find it later. Ooh, Samar, the best thing to do is to open your patient file first and use the disk icon like I showed with the other question. If you do it the other way around, okay, so you do Command S, save, and then you have to choose your patient, and this is the one. So all the names are hidden because of GDPR, which is good. You basically, if you click on, so those are the dates of the consultations that were made. See, this one was yesterday and this one was today. And if I just double click on the patient name itself, it will create a new consultation for you and therefore a new date. Okay. But if I double click on the dates, it will then add that analysis to that consultation. So basically, it's creating a structure within your patient file. It sounds like you're not using your patient file at the moment. So what you need to do is click on patient, type their name, open up their patient file, and click on the calendar icon, and it will show you all of their analyses like this. And then if there are ones that shouldn't be there, you can right click on them and delete them. But yeah, you have to start using the patient file to see how it's looking. You can see bird remedies only. Yeah, there are two ways. You open your analysis and you could click on families and type birds, and then right click and limit the analysis to the family. So let's just change like that. So oh, that's the wrong thing, isn't it? Ooh. Yeah. That's it. So I'm sure it won't be on yours. Mine has a problem at the moment where when I use this eliminative rubric, it only grays out rather than deletes the other remedies from view. So like Eagle, this remedy is, and the other way you can filter by a family is right clicking on the remedy and limit to the family members, and then choose aves, which is the Latin for birds. That's the way that I tend to use. I'll like search for a bird remedy in my repertorization and right click on it, because then, it doesn't matter what clipboard you open, it will always be limited to the birds. With the other one, it creates a distinct rubric as an eliminative one. And so that rubric only exists on one clipboard, which is a bit cumbersome. No, Ellen, RadarOpus won't work in Linux. Great. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. See you next month, and we'll post a recording when we can.